Kia ora, welcome to Bus Days. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a small solar generator. Now it sounds a little weird. A generator is normally driven by petrol or diesel and generates, of course, electricity. In this case what I'm going to do is basically set up a solar charged battery which will store the energy from the sun, which I can then use as a generator when there's no sun. I'm doing it for two reasons. One is I think it'd be quite a handy little toy to have around for a bit, and two is I really want to test out some of the things that will form my solar solution for the bus. Let's take a look at what we're going to make that out of. Starting with this EPEVA battery solar charge controller. This is a 30 amp unit, capable of running up to 150 volts of solar panels. Now it will take the solar panel voltage. It's an MPPT controller, which means it's not smart, it's probably the easiest way to put it, and it's a smart charger. So solar panels connect up to this, and then the batteries connect up to this. You can also run loads off of it, but I don't intend to. These are really expensive here in New Zealand, so getting one from AliExpress is a real score. Actually everything you see here is from AliExpress. Some circuit breakers, DC circuit breakers. There is actually, from what I believe, there's actually quite a difference between an AC circuit breaker and a DC circuit breaker. There's quite a bit of extra arcing issues when they break. Battery monitor, very cheap little battery monitor. Actually I think that might have been from eBay. Some heat shrink, little cigarette lighter socket, some electrical connections, a fuse box, and a 300 amp breaker, which I'll probably find a use for. Even in fact my stripping tool is from AliExpress. So perhaps one of the first things I'll need to do is to cut a little rectangle out so that I can mount the battery monitor. It's pretty easy to cut a rectangle with a jigsaw. All I need is a couple of holes, one in each corner diagonally. Then I can cut across there and across there, and then across there and across there, and I'm done in no time at all. I'm going to do that now. So that should do the trick. And from there, and I've chucked in a couple of holes for power sockets. So here's an overview of what I have done. I have connected to the battery here. I'm running the positive lead down here through a 50 amp breaker and into my positive buzz bar. I'm running a negative lead which starts with the shunt. Shunt is always the only thing that should be attached to the negative terminal of the battery. That has both a base earth and sensing wire coming from that. They're going down through to the back of the switchboard, which I'll show you shortly. And the negative lead comes through and direct to the negative buzz bar. Now coming off, back to the positive, coming off the positive buzz bar, I've got a connection to the positive terminal on my charger, and the negative on the solar charger goes to the negative buzz bar. This provides the power to charge the battery. Although I don't currently have a solar panel hooked up, that is this wire here. The negative from the solar panel comes straight to the solar controller, but the positive from the solar panel comes through 20 amp breaker and then again into the solar controller. So with these two breakers I can turn off the battery, and I can turn off the solar panel separately and disconnect either from the circuit.
Behind I have the wiring for my meter, and that's the two cables, the sensing and the earth. It's also got two positives coming in, one for the sensing and one to power the unit. That runs a strip cable to the actual meter itself. Also behind here I have two two earths coming direct from the earth buzz bar to my two power sockets, and I have two positives coming, a single positive coming through to the fuse box, 10 amp fuses running through to each to the two power sockets, and a 5 amp fuse running to the meter. So once I'm on, I have two live now 12 volt sockets. In this one I've got a USB plug. The meter's showing I've got 3.3 volts and very little amps. I'm not sure how well it works on the low amps, but it does seem reasonably accurate. So that's it in a nutshell. The whole lot fits into the box, and I'll show you that now. And here is the finished layout. All fits nicely in this little toolbox. Even have solar connection cable. So here's my little fridge. It's a 35 litre Waco 12 or 24 volt compressor fridge, running a little Danfoss, world famous Danfoss compressor with, I guess, 35 litres capacity inside. We are connected up and almost in the sunshine, ready to start our field test with a 100 watt solar panel, keeping my 12 volt fridge running. So the fridge is full and cold, has been running all night, around about 13 and a half hours on this battery. It's still currently 12.6, it's actually gone up a little bit now that my phone's finished charging. It was 12.5. Pretty much nothing going in, nothing coming out. Fridge is not currently running. But soon we should get some sun across it and start boosting that voltage. Now here we are, full sun for about an hour, and let's go and see how we're charging. And rather boringly, next to no amps, and that is because we're fully charged at 13.6 volts. In less than an hour we've recovered this 50 amp hour, which is actually just an old worn out car battery, back up to full charge after running this fridge all night. So here's an interesting little observation with our field tests. In full sun, this panel easily puts out 4.5 amps at 13-14 volts. However, with this much shade, it puts out approximately 0. And there, slightest shift in the panel to get it into full sun, straight over 4 amps. Well, all those tests have gone pretty well after 4 days of running the fridge on the 100 watt panel and a 50 amp hour battery, which additionally was in pretty poor condition when I started. It's worked really well. It never hit the low voltage cutout. I think it got down to 12.3, 12.4 volts at its lowest. We had a play with an inverter on it, charged battery packs and phones and torches and the likes on it, and it performed really well. So I'm really happy with that concept. If you were building one, you wouldn't necessarily have used such expensive equipment. There's probably not really a need for an MPPT controller. I was just wanting to test mine. You could probably do it quite well with a little PWM unit at a hell of a lot less money, like maybe 20 bucks or something like that.
So you'd save a lot of money there. It does work well with a car battery. Obviously would work better with a deep cycle battery. Maybe a second-hand one of those would save a fair bit of money. And some of the switch gear I used might have kind of been a bit overkill. At the end of the day, you could have done it with battery clamps and a fuse. But it's worked very well. So I'm going to do, we're going camping again in another week or so, and I may by then have a voltage sensitive relay which I'll be able to test out with the alternator on the car and see if my 100 watt panel can charge both my generator battery and my car battery at the same time. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, press the buttons wherever they are. I'll try and include links to all the AliExpress stuff that I've bought in the description, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Take care.